Hey everyone, welcome back. So the AI agent browser wars continue. This time we're testing a new one called Genspark Super Agent. Genspark has both a website you could go to, but if you want to really utilize the full gamut of features, they have their own browser, which again appears to be a Chromium or WebKit, however you want to look at it, type browser. So it's cool when you go to it. It has all these different agents. AI slides, AI sheets, docs, research, etc. And then it has one called a super agent, which is what I have open here. This should be able to smartly call any of the other agents that it has. And so we're going to put it head to head against the testing that we did previously for ChatGPT agent mode and the Perplexity Comet browser. We're going to see how Genspark Super Agent compares with the same two tasks. So if you have not seen those videos, take a look at them. And you could see they both failed miserably. ChatGPT agent actually failed the most miserably of all. It was horrible. So we're going to see how Genspark compares. So how do we do it? I have two tests. One is to help me plan a trip and figure out which hotels to stay at for a Marriott hotel. And basically, it needs to find a hotel that we can stay at on a road trip back from San Diego to Austin, Texas. It has to log into our Marriott account, or actually, in this case, already be logged into our Marriott account, and find hotels along the way that make the most sense to stay at, that are near a supercharger, that also allow dogs. So that's the test. So we're going to begin by pasting this in here, and let me make sure actually that Marriott is logged in still. All right, so I'm signed into Marriott. So we're going to begin with that. I'm telling it we're logged into Marriott in this browser so you can gain access, blah, blah, blah. So let's see if it works. First thing it does is it thinks a little bit, and then it can do some tool calling. In this case, it's doing a map search to route the way we'll go. So it does these cool local tool calls. And now it's using the local web fetch tool. So you see it opened up the browser here and is looking at the page. I think I can actually close that one. Appears to be, actually we could probably see what it's doing here. No content, that's great. Okay, it's thinking now. It says thinking. Let me search more specifically for Marriott hotels and the optimal stopping cities along your route. And now it's using Playwright, which is basically like Puppeteer, I think. Or it actually is Puppeteer. So it should be looking at the page. It should, yeah, it's great. So what it's doing is it's typing into the fields here. The way this works is it looks at the page, looks at all the elements that are clickable, and then goes ahead and gets the screenshot with all the elements that are clickable, and then the LLM tells the browser automation what to click and what to do. But it's just taking screenshots. Highly inefficient though. So I don't think it's not yet picked dates. It's in August. So if we watch it here, it's taking these screenshots, sending it back, but it seems to be stuck in some sort of loop. So it's funny, it's very frustrating. It says here I need to click on number 25. Let me click on it. And it says successfully clicked on element 48. So basically it's clicking on the wrong thing every time. See? Successfully clicked 48. So it's trying to click 25, keeps clicking 48. It's so frustrating. God, what a failure. Come on. This stuff is just not ready yet. The thing is, I understand what it wants to do, but it just keeps clicking element 48. So I need to stop it now, and I'm going to say, hey, you are clicking the wrong element every time. Please try again. I'm going to stop it and resend that. Yeah, so now it's using web search. That's what it's doing. So pick the hotel using web search, and now it's using a tool to read the page. I believe this one is not being used currently, but this is good. You can see now how the elements are. I kept clicking element 48, which is over here when it's trying to click 25. Somehow these two was messing that up. Okay, finished. It did not fulfill the request as specified. So basically what it did is it relied on search. The browser portion of the agent, the part that was controlling the browser, failed. So it was never able to find the information I needed, which was the points that would be required to book for these various hotels using Marriott points. It did find options where to stay. It was able to confirm that dogs are allowed, but it was basically just using web search and then evaluating the search results, clicking on the pages. But it was all basically doing like curl, just grabbing the data from the web and not actually controlling our browser. So it gave me some options. I have no idea what it is in terms of points. It says it's bookable, but it didn't give me the points needed. So obviously it was never able to pick the date picker on the browser. So ultimately, this did not succeed. If I had to classify this, I would say it was a failure. It did come back with something which was nice, but not a success by any measure. Okay, now that the hotel one has failed, let's go ahead and try the next one, which is some basic research for a startup, a fictional startup, that I'm trying to get lead gen. I'm trying to find the contact information for the top 10 roofing companies in the San Diego market. So that's a very simple request. I have a prompt written out. What I've done is I've given it access to this Google Sheet, which I've opened up, and I'm going to write the prompt in here, which basically tells it to go do the research, find the top 10 roofing companies in the San Diego market, and go ahead and fill out the spreadsheet with the results that you gathered. Seems reasonable, seems like something anybody could do, so let's see if the browser agent can do it. Okay, it's thinking. Good start. So it's using a tool called parallel search. That's interesting. So I guess it's searching simultaneously across. Yes, it's getting a bunch of different search results and reading simultaneously. That's what that appears to be doing. It's very interesting. So basically the way that Genspark seems to work is there's a bunch of tools like MCPs built into it for doing different things. Okay, that's running. I'm going to show you here the tools. You could see the different tools that are on right now. There are a bunch of tools built into it here, and then there's some other MCPs, and then there's other ones, MCPs from the community that you can call. But there's some that are built in right out of the gate. Okay, so now it's doing the browser automation. It's accessing the Google Sheet. There we go. Let's see, I just want to peek to see what it's doing. First, I'll click on cell A1 to start entering the headers. Boom. All right, that's a good start. Was able to enter rank. Okay, see, it says great. I can see that I successfully entered rank in cell A1. Now I need to continue adding the rest of the column headers. Let's move to cell B1. There is no B1 entering. It's stuck in cell A1. It's trying to click out. It keeps getting an error. The reason, I bet, is that there's no clickable element for B1. Let's see if it's, yes, there's no clickable element. I don't know how Google Sheets works, but it doesn't work with this browser automation because the element that it needs to click, it cannot click. So again, it's failing at basic browser usage. So now the question is, what is this for then? Why would you install the Genspark browser if it can't do the basics? It can't click a date selector on the Marriott site. It can't click a cell in a Google Sheet. So it basically, and it's stuck in a loop. That's the other thing. It keeps getting itself stuck in these loops where it doesn't know how to get out. And I bet it would just run forever on this. Yeah, it just keeps failing. Okay, it's actually executing code here. You can see the code. And it's going to fail over and over again because it can't get the element that it needs. So anyway, this thing has failed. So I think we could call this test done as well, because it was able to only enter the word rank. It did gather the roofer information, I think, in some way using the search, but it was never able to put it in the sheet, which was part of the requirement. So that failed as well. Okay, so how do we feel about Genspark Super Agent? I would say it failed at both tasks. It couldn't operate its own browser. It couldn't click elements. Was unable to use a date picker, or was unable to click into cell B1 on the Google Sheet. So from that standpoint, it failed. It was able to break down the task into some parts and execute on it, but it was not able to complete it agentically. The whole point of having a browser agent would be so that you can have it operate the web and do things that you need to do for you, but clearly it can't do even, I'd say, not even intermediate level of difficulty here. Got stuck on some of the very basic things like being able to click something on a web page. So where do I rank it? If you recall, I think I gave Perplexity Comet I think it was like a B. I can't remember. It was a B, or it was a B, and I think ChatGPT agent got a C. In this case, I would give Genspark a D. But ultimately, they all failed because they couldn't do the thing that I needed, and it's the same task. We're going to keep trying agents out until we find one that could actually do it. It just seems they have a lot of trouble with operating the web, which is ironic considering they are browser agents. So we'll see. I think it's all eventually going to work, but we're not there yet. Congrats to Genspark for making it this far. A lot of people don't know who Genspark is, so at least they're in the conversation. But still, this definitely wasn't a success. But keep working. I think we'll get there. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you like this, follow me on X. My handle is Chris Stanchak. And you could also, if you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, leave a comment, like the video. Let me know what you want to do next time. Thanks.